So a couple nights ago, I did something that I shouldn't have. I stayed up playing Minecraft with friends till 1 a.m. And you kind of know my opinion about playing video games. So after that whole thing, I just felt like shit. I felt lonely even though I was with friends. I felt unproductive, just not good enough. The thing that made it worse was earlier that day, I shared a schedule, my daily schedule, with my friend. And on that schedule, I set a time to go to bed and unwind at like 10. And here I was staying up at 1 a.m. I just felt so ashamed, honestly. If this were a year ago, I probably wouldn't have done anything about it. But you know, this time I was kind of curious about why is it so hard to get off my computer in the first place? Like, it's easy to say just go to bed earlier, just get off your PC. There has to be a reason why I'm staying up this late. And even if your problem is not like staying up late when you're not supposed to, if you do any habits that you're not proud of, I found some information that might help you. So I watched this video about mental health from Hamza. It kind of goes into why mental health is so important. But something that really clicked in my head was the idea that these activities, these bad habits, are just symptoms of another problem, right? And that kind of relates to my idea about there has to be something that's making me stay up this late. And what he said was, it was all because of poor mental health. What could be wrong with my mental health that would make me do this? Right, so let's brainstorm. Maybe because I feel like I don't fit in, my mental health is kind of going down. There's also more stress from homework. And maybe even shame. Maybe doing these activities brought down my mental health even more because I'm ashamed of myself that I should be doing something productive. And the reason I do these dopamine-filled activities, like playing video games, watching YouTube, is because it's an escape from my poor mental health. When I'm doing these things, I don't have to get bombarded by my own thoughts. And isn't that really interesting, right? It's like a painkiller. It just like temporarily takes it away. But of course, when it's over, when I've never taken painkillers, so I might get this wrong, but when the painkiller like fades away, you've got pain in wherever you're injured or whatever because you never fixed the problem, right? And with that idea, I realized that this kind of copium kind of thing has been what I've done for my entire life. I'm just taking painkillers instead of trying to fix the problem, which doesn't make sense. So is the solution just to do the things that we need to do? Answer, technically yes. But our mental health has gone down so far to the point where we can't even do those things. I sit in my modern nonfiction class in high school and they're making us to read a book. I absolutely suck at reading books, right? I can barely read a page before drifting off. And while I was trying to read, I thought, what would it take for me to be able to read more fluently? What would it take for me to read with less breaks? And Hamza gives us a solution. There are 3 things. I'm only going to talk about 2 of them because I have yet to kind of understand the third one. But these 2 things are focus and mindfulness. Focus meaning being able to put your full attention into something. And mindfulness means being aware of whatever's happening around you. Or whatever. Just being aware. And these are skills, which is strange, right? Focus is a skill. Mindfulness is a skill. If I were to hypothetically upgrade these skills, I would be able to focus. I would be able to read for a longer period of time before my mind drifts off. And then mindfulness allows you to catch yourself, right? When you're distracted, it brings you back and then you can focus again. This is kind of like the core of everything, right? If you're trying to do something, you have to get yourself to do it, which is where mindfulness comes in. And you have to be able to do it for a good period of time. And beginning to build the skill doesn't really take that much effort. This is something you have to try your best to implement into your daily life, into whatever you're doing. Sure, you may not be able to focus for that long, but you gotta catch yourself, right? You don't need to beat yourself up, you just become aware and focus down on it again. And one thing that I've been doing is meditating. This type of meditating that Hamza introduces is a little bit different compared to what we normally hear. And this one specifically focuses on building up your mindfulness and focus. So to make it short, you sit down, doesn't matter how long, do it for a very short period of time if you're just starting. So what you do is you clear out all your thoughts and sit there focusing down on something like your breath. And you're just gonna keep focusing, having your mind clear until your mind decides to wander off. And once your mind wanders off, you become aware of it, and then you just calmly, without any negative feelings, you just let the thoughts go and focus down again on your breath, right? And he calls this 1 rep. It's like building up a muscle, which is kind of a really cool way to think about it. If I wanted to build up my focus and mindfulness when reading a book, I would read until my brain decided to wander off, and I would catch myself, right? And then I would focus down back on the book and continue reading. And just like with reading, the more you do it, the better you'll eventually get. I'll probably stop here because I don't think I have much experience further down the line. But yeah, I'll leave the video where he talks about this in the description. My life hasn't really been so great these few past weeks, but I'll keep trying, you know? And hey, I feel like my mental health is going up a lot more as I continue to work on this video. So yeah, that's a start. Leave a comment with your thoughts about this topic, and thanks for watching. Take care.